All right, lady, we're back. And since the last video, we hit 5,000 subscribers. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
All right, tell them all thanks and make sure they hit like and subscribe and all that good junk.
Thanks, guys. You should all like and subscribe and all that junk.
All right, do the finger thing. All right, so you ready to get back to work?
Yes.
And what are we doing today?
Nuts and bolts.
Nuts and bolts. All right, we're actually going to get this 3-link installed. And the first step on that is getting this gas tank crossmember bolted in. So grab that thing. Do you know which one it is? Which one looks like a gas tank crossmember to you?
This thing?
That's it. Okay, so like I mentioned before, this is just a Thorbeck S10 3-link, and this new gas tank crossmember, the raised gas tank crossmember, just utilizes the 4 factory holes. So we'll get that thing into place and it just bolts in. All right, grab some nuts, woman.
I like nuts.
All right, you got your tool?
Yes.
All right, let's tighten these up. Okay, so next we gotta get these factory leaf spring perches, and you can see where we cut them off the frame. You just move them back 8 3/4 of an inch on this kit. So we'll get it marked out, drill our holes and get them bolted on there. Okay, so we got this side done. Like I said, you just drill some holes, bolts right up. And you got this side marked out. So you gonna drill it?
Yes.
Gonna give it a shot? All right, let's go.
First.
Which one you going with?
This one.
All right, see what you got.
Alright. Wish me luck. Oh boy.
All right, first injury of the day. What'd you do?
Metal splinter.
Got a metal splinter? All right, get it out of there. Good job. Now, back to drilling.
Perfect.
Good job.
Thanks.
All right, tighten that one. Next one. Good job. Okay, so we got everything installed. Now we just gotta get this rear end pushed into place and get it bolted up. right, go for it. Another good job. Let it down, woman. Look at that. You got 3-link. 3-link. All right, woman. You're going to go hang out with your dogs the rest of the night?
Yes.
All right, because I'm going to do scary grinding and welding and sparks.
Yes.
But you'll be back out tomorrow to help us?
Yes.
All right, back to the kitchen.
To the kitchen I go.
All right, sandwiches, woman. Finally. Thought she'd never leave. Get tired of them big jiggly things in my face all the time. But I got this notch set into place just so I can mark center of the axle with the center of the notch. Kind of mark out where it's going to be so I can take it back off, get this frame cleaned up, and do a little trimming, and we'll get this thing welded up. All right, so just show you guys what I got before I go any further. I just marked center of the notch and center of the axle. Just use a plumb bob, drop it down, make sure you're lined up and everything's centered. Then measured from the front of the notch and just find a reference point. I used this bolt hole, but just do that side to side so you know everything's even. And I went ahead and outlined where it sits. And once I get this notch back off, I'll use a cutoff wheel and scribe that, just kind of scar it before I clean the rust off so I know it goes back in the same spot. But should be good. And one other thing you'd want to do, you can use a level. I'm using an angle finder, but the frame's about 3 degrees. So you want notch to be in the same spot. And we're at about 3 degrees on that. So, like I said, should be good. I'll get this back off, get it all cleaned up, and we'll start welding. Okay, so I got it all cleaned up. You can see how I scribed it. It's not real deep at all, just enough to see it, so you can make sure that notch goes right back where it needs to be. So I'm gonna get it in place and we'll burn it in. Okay, so we got it all welded up. A few little spots. I'll go back and plate the inside of the frame there where the notch didn't quite reach the bottom. But other than that, it is pretty much good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out factory frame inside the notches just so I can get this thing on the ground, see what it looks like, and we'll call it a night. All right, guys, so not bad for a Friday night after work. We got that 3-link on, notch, biggest part of the way done. And let's see what this thing looks like on the ground. Okay guys, I'm gonna call it a night. You don't wanna watch me work anymore anyways. So we'll get Amanda back out here tomorrow and get this back end finished up. So me and Kiwi, we're gonna head inside. Come on. Good girl. Good girl. All right guys, we are back at it. I got some steel so we can cut some plates out and get that notch finished up. Picked up some axle tabs so we can get these shocks mounted. I have to do a little clearance for the drive shaft hitting the back cab wall. So just a bunch of stupid little stuff I have to finish up before we get Amanda out here. So basically, this is the part of the video that everyone's gonna skip. So let's get busy. All right, so got it all welded up. Got the plates on the inside of the notches, plates on the inside of the frame there, and maybe not the cleanest install ever, but for a notch that I cut out of another truck for $3.99, welded it in here just to see if I could do it. I'm happy with it. So I'm gonna jump to these shocks, and to set these up, what I like to do, I'll get the wheels back on it, throw some airbags in it temporarily, and just get it jacked up to where it's gonna be at when it's laid out, so I can get some measurements. And I set the shocks up, not fully compressed. I leave about an inch, just a little cushion there so you're not laying out on them. To me, it seems like that'd be easier on the shock, maybe not blowing out seals. And also, if you ever run a bigger wheel and tire, it just gives you a little bit of cushion. That's my thought with it anyways, but that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so got everything thrown back together. Like I said, just temporarily threw some bags in there and jacked it up to where the suspension is fully collapsed. Then bolted the shocks up, and you know I didn't have the right hardware, so we were improvising. But all I'm going to do is push these shocks up to where they're about an inch from fully collapsed, mark where they go on the axle, and we'll get that cleaned up and tacked in there. And then I'll cycle the suspension a couple of times, make sure it's good to go before we fully weld it. Okay, so check it out. Got those shocks fully welded on. We got cab notch for the drive shaft. Welded on exhaust hanger. Went ahead and hit all the bare metal with some undercoating. We'll do the rest of it later. I just want to get that covered up. But got some air running to it. So check it out. All right, so look who decided to join us. Took you a long time on them sandwiches.
Yes.
Yes. All right, so getting ready to throw this gas tank back in. So I just got the factory mount and clamped it to the frame there. Just so we can re-drill all 4 of these holes to raise that mount. This gas tank cross member also raises the factory gas tank, so it's not hanging lower than the frame. So, like I said, we'll get these marked out, drill some holes, and get this gas tank back in there. All right, guys, got that gas tank installed. And the last thing we're going to do before we call it a night is get this bed flipped over, measure out what we need to cut for the notch. And I want to get this thing test fitted and probably take it back off because we're going to finish painting that frame at some point, but that's the plan. Okay, so I got the center all marked out, and for the notch, so we'll get that cut out of here. And I'm not going to do the wheels yet. I want to set this bed on the truck and just make those holes as nice and tight as we can. We like nice tight holes around here. All right, you ready to do this last little cut and make it look like you did all the work? All right, safety glasses.
Safety glasses.
All right, you just need to cut from there to there, right on the line.
Sure.
Oh, you got this. Hold on tight, be careful. Yeah, you don't mind getting dirty, but you don't like the sparks so much, do you?
Not the sparks. I've just seen dummies get cut with those things.
I've seen a lot of dummies get cut with that. No, it's just Okay, so we got the bed just sitting in place. A little trimming to do for the wishbone that's hitting, and maybe a little bit for tires right up above them. But fits pretty good. So we'll do that little bit of trimming and report back. All right, so we got the rear all trimmed up. So that's going to do it for the back. Next time, we will start on bagging the front of this thing. So go ahead and lay it out, lady.